All right, this is Clayton County Magistrate Court preliminary hearing calendar. Today's date is December 30th. This is the state of Georgia versus Noel Henry, warrants number 2024 CW 73911, 2024 CW 73378, 2024 CW 73379, and 2024 CW 73380. All parties are present. Mr. Lewis has invoked the rule of sequestration. Which witness did you want to start with, Ms. Thomas?
Yeah, I believe I want to start with Officer Jean-Pierre.
All right, I will place you, Officer Jackson, in the waiting room until I'll come get you when we're ready.
Okay.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me get that done.
Actually, can I switch? Let me do Officer Jackson first and then Officer Henry.
Okay. All right, Officer Jackson, who's going to start with you? Thank you, Ms. Thomas. You can begin.
Okay. Officer, could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the evidence you shall give before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Put your hand down. State your name for the record.
Officer Cameron Jackson
And officer, how are you employed?
with the Clayton County Police Department.
And in what capacity?
Police officer.
And were you so employed on October the 8th of 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you have occasion to respond to a 724 Redland Drive?
Objection.
That's correct.
Hold on.
What was your, you faded out. I heard the objection, then what else did you say?
Leading.
All right, Ms. Thomas?
Your Honor, I do not believe it's leading to ask the officer why he responded to a specific location pursuant to a call. But if the court wishes, I can rephrase.
Just rephrase the question and don't suggest the answers in your questions.
Officer, did you receive a call on October the 8th of 2024?
It was on October 9th.
You received it on the 9th?
So now let me object late leading.
I'm trying to make sure I heard what he said. Officer, what day did you respond?
I responded on October 9th, 2024 at 18.
Was that regarding an incident that happened prior to that date?
Yes, ma'am.
What was that prior date?
October 8th.
And what happened on October 8th?
I was dispatched to a disturbance call.
Do you recall the incident location?
Yes, it was at 724 Redland Drive.
And is that within the confines of Jonesboro?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
And is that Clayton County?
Yes, ma'am.
And what brought you to that location?
It was regarding a disturbance.
What type of disturbance, officer?
It was a disturbance that was regarding entering auto. So basically, when I had got there, I spoke with Miss Taylor Ingram, who had stated that her vehicle was broken into on October 8th. She stated that her Louis Vuitton purse was gone, was stolen, and she was missing multiple debit cards and credit cards, and such as her I think she said military ID, and so on, and license and all that. So she stated she was there at the location of 724 to tour property for potential investment. She said she was with the contractor to look at the property.
Objection narrative.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
No, hold on.
I'll wait for Ms. Thomas's response.
Yeah, I'll rephrase. I'll break it up.
Okay.
Officer, why was she at the location?
For a potential investment with contractors. She was touring the property.
What type of property is this?
It was like I think it's like a townhome.
Townhome was not occupied at the time?
No, ma'am, it was vacant.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, where was her purse while she was touring the property?
Her purse was inside her vehicle.
Okay. And was that vehicle secured?
Yes, from my understanding, I think the doors probably was unlocked, but from my understanding, the vehicle was secured.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the officer's response there. Something about the doors.
Yes, I don't know the doors was locked, but her vehicle was secured. The doors were shut.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, how was she able to determine that something had happened regarding the car?
So she ended up contacting the police because she had said that her purse was stolen. But the other person that was on the property at the time that was stayed across the road at 713 Redlands Drive had said that she ended up LaSalle Brown ended up contacting Taylor Ingram, which is the victim, and had seen the card that was in her wallet, not her wallet, but her purse. And she ended up giving her a call saying that she found her purse. So when she found the purse, she said she'll be back at the location that day, which is on the October 9th. So she came back to that location, and that's when she noticed her Louis Vuitton purse was broken. The little buckle part was broken. She was missing cards, debit cards, driver's license, military ID, and so on, and makeup, she said. So the other person that was involved that contacted Ingram had stated that she found a purse that was in Mr. Noel's bedroom at the
Hold on,
time.
I'm getting a little confused.
Mhm.
The victim's purse was removed from her car,
Yes, the victim purse was gone out of her vehicle.
and you say she got a call of some sort?
So the person that's over that property at 713 Redlands Drive, she found a purse inside Noah Henry's bedroom. And
Oh, okay.
she ended up finding like a business card of Miss Ingram. So she found a business card and contacted her via phone. And that's when she was aware that her purse was at the location. So she ended up coming back to that location to retrieve her purse and notice the cards, debit cards.
Okay, officer, let me stop you right here because your voice started up and then it started going down. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. So is it the homeowner at 713?
She's not the homeowner. She was like a social worker that helped, I guess, homeless people out. She was saying she helped homeless people out, provide them somewhere to stay.
So is it a shelter of some sort?
Yes, it was something like a shelter. Yes, ma'am.
And how does she know Noel Henry or Henry Noel?
She provided him shelter for the home.
So he has a room in this property.
Yes, correct.
What was she doing in that room?
She was there. She basically said she was there to check on the house at the time, and she said she noticed the purse that was in the bedroom. But
Did she?
have access. I'm
I
sorry.
need
Go ahead.
the last part, officer.
She said she was there checking on the property, but she have access to the house because it's her property, but she shelter for the homeless.
Okay. Was he there when she found the purse?
No, ma'am, he wasn't there.
She reached out to the victim.
Yeah, she said yes, ma'am. She said she called him and she asked Henry about the purse. Asked him about the purse. He said it was a female friend, and she said she knew it wasn't a female friend because of the age differential.
When did she ask him about the purse?
From my understanding, I think it was the day before October. I think it was maybe the 9th. Might have been the
When
9th.
you say the day before, you talking about October the 8th, or what day
October
are we
8th,
talking
yes.
about?
Yes, ma'am. October 8th. I'm sorry.
So she found the purse on October the 8th?
So I think from my understanding, I think she found a person on October 8th and gave Taylor Ingram a call the day after, and she ended up coming out to the location later on that day.
And when did she talk to Mr. Henry about the purse?
She contacted him on the phone.
So he wasn't there when she found the purse?
No, ma'am. He wasn't there. He wasn't present.
Was he there when you arrived?
No, ma'am. I tried to give him a call as well from the phone number she provided me, but I didn't receive an answer.
So you have not talked to Mr. Henry?
No, ma'am. I haven't talked to him at all.
What happened to the purse?
The purse, the little buckle part to open up the purse, it was damaged. Which she said it was like $2,800 to fix or replace. But the purse cost $2,800, so that was missing. It was debit card that was missing where he actually tried to swipe the debit card at Shell gas station and Quick Trip.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
How do you know it was him that tried to swipe the card?
So later that day, on October 9th, there was another officer that I guess followed up with my case. So he went to the Shell gas station at Flint and Thomas Road, and that's when he looked at the video footage and noticed that was him in the video that was swiping the debit card.
Okay, now the person you're referring to is him and Mr. Henry. How do you know that that's the same person that your witness mentioned?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? How do I know it's the same
How do you
person?
know it's the same person that we're talking about? This is at a gas station. The
Right,
purse was taken from a different location, correct?
correct.
How do we know we're talking about the same person?
Because it was video footage of him using the debit card with the same transaction. Because I provided pictures of the transaction around that time of the transaction from her phone. So she showed me a picture of the time that her card was swiped. So the other officer ended up going to the Shell gas station to get the video footage from the exact time and noticed it was him that was swiping the card.
Who identified him as a person that lived at 713 Redland Drive?
I think her name Lasai Brown. That was the other person that's over the property.
The person that was over the property where he was living?
Yes, correct.
Do you recall this person's name?
Lasai Brown.
Lasai,
Her name is Lasai Brown.
and she recognized him from the picture at the gas station?
So we didn't ever show her the picture, but I had a picture on my MCT database from work that showed a picture of him, and you can tell that was fit the description.
Did you ever speak to him about the purse?
No, I never spoke with him at all. I tried to get in contact with him over the phone, but he never answered the phone.
Have you ever seen him other than the video?
Other than the video, no.
Okay.
And the picture I had on the computer, no.
Do you know who arrested him?
That I don't know who arrested. I ended up obtaining the warrants. And I guess he was captured at a later date.
Now, you might have already mentioned this, but in abundance of caution, do you recall the value of the purse?
It was 20, I think it was like 2,800. I can refer back and give you the exact price.
And was the victim able to confirm that would be, I think you mentioned Taylor Ingram, Miss Ingram?
Yes, ma'am.
Was she able to confirm when the damage was? Let me rephrase the question. Did Miss Ingram tell you if the purse was damaged before October the 8th?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. She said the purse was not damaged at all.
But she did not see who took the purse out of her car.
She didn't see who took the purse out of her car. Not at all.
And Miss Brown indicated that he told her that someone gave it to her, that a friend gave it to him.
No, he said it was a friend. He said it was a friend that was there.
Oh, a friend was visiting him?
She said it was a friend that was visiting him, but she knew that was a lie because of the age difference.
Okay. Did he give her a name? Or was she able to provide a name of this friend?
No, he didn't provide the name of that friend at all.
Did he ever tell her or explain to her? Let me draw that question. Oh, was he able to tell her where the friend was?
No, he didn't ever elaborate about the friend at all to Brown.
And the purse was returned to the victim?
Yes, the purse was returned to the victim when I had arrived.
And the cards inside, did she get those back?
No, ma'am, she didn't ever get the cards back.
Would that have included, I believe you said it was a credit card or something that was swiped at the sit-go at the gas station?
Yes, it was I think it was a debit card, maybe a credit card that was swiped. And
a debit card?
I think it was a debit card from my understanding.
Okay. And the person using that card was this defendant?
Yes, correct.
And is that based on the description that you received?
Yes.
Was he able to explain how he got that card belonging to the victim?
Was Noel able to explain?
Yes.
No, I haven't spoken with him.
Do you
I
know
never,
if the other officer, if he explained to the other officer how he ended up with the purse? Not the purse, with the card?
that I can't answer that. Considering that he went, because it was a different shift that came in after me, that did a follow-up investigation at the Shell gas station and obtained the video footage.
Okay. But that footage from the gas station is in police custody?
Yes.
Okay. And the purse itself was recovered from his room?
Yes, the purse was in his room, which Brown had gave the purse back to Ingram.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that's all I have of this officer. Reserve right for redirect.
All right, cross-examination.
Thank you, Judge. Officer, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm well, sir, and yourself?
I'm good.
Great. Officer, I will tell you that I became confused while hearing your testimony. And so I'm going to go back through your testimony with you, and I'm going to add a few questions in while I go back through it, okay?
Mhm.
All right. What I would like for you to do, officer, though, is refrain from using the word victim, defendant, she, he, or any of those other pronouns that are out there, okay?
Gotcha.
Give me names, and then that way I can work with you on the names, okay?
Gotcha.
All right. Let's start first with the date. The crime that you describe in your warrants that you took out took place on the 8th. Is that correct?
Correct.
You weren't called out to those crimes until the 9th. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So when we see that you're arriving on scene on the 9th, it's not because of a delay on your part in getting there. You all never received a call on the 8th. Is that right?
Right.
All right. On the 8th, at what time did this crime allegedly take place?
On the 8th, I guess Taylor had stated around like 18:30 hours.
Around 6:30 p.m. for the common people, right?
Yes.
All right. And around what time did you respond out to this call on the 9th?
On the 9th, I was there around 18:27.
All right.
6:27.
So in essence, almost 24 hours.
Right.
Is-
Right.
All right. And at the time that you are called out, what is the report? What is the reported crime that you are responding to?
I was responding to a disturbance call.
A disturbance call.
Correct.
And you arrived on location. You arrived at the scene of the crime or elsewhere?
So both people were standing on the roadway. Miss Ingram and Brown was standing on the roadway when I
Ingram
got around.
down. Ingram is the person whose purse we're talking about.
Yes, the victim.
Brown is the person who owns the property
Yes.
where the person you swore the warrant out was allegedly residing.
Yes.
All right, and they were standing together on the 9th. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
I'm sorry.
And where are they standing at? What property?
They were standing. Well, it's a townhome, so they were standing in the grass area.
All right. Is this the grass area where the prospective investor was, or is this the grass area where the purported defendant is residing?
That's the grass area where the defendant was residing.
All right.
So
Brown has summoned, or Ingram has arrived at the location allegedly where the defendant is residing. Is that correct?
correct.
Now, I want to talk about this residence for just a minute. Did you have an opportunity to go into the residence?
No, sir. I never went in.
All right.
I had no reason to.
I'm sorry?
No, sir. I never went. I had no reason to, considering that she had already retrieved her purse.
Okay, that she had already retrieved her purse. Did Ingram tell you that she had gone into the residence?
She didn't go in.
She did not go in. So she allegedly retrieved her purse from Brown?
Yes.
All right. And Brown said she went in, right?
Yes, Brown went in.
And Brown went in because this is Brown's property. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
All right. And at any point in time, did you ever find anything other than people's statements that the person that you swore the warrant out had any ownership right to the property?
Can you repeat that question?
During the time of your investigation, while you're on scene, I know you didn't go in because you've already told us that. Did you find evidence that the person that you swore out the warrant for had any ownership right to that property?
I can't answer that. We had the video footage from when he was swiping the debit card inside the Shell gas station.
Got right now, officer. The question we're talking about is the location where you're arriving on scene.
Right.
And in this location, somebody has told you that the person you swore the warrant out resided there, right?
Right.
And so when you got there, the person who said she owned it, that's Brown, said that the person you swore the warrant out resided there, right?
Correct.
And you didn't go in the property, correct?
Correct.
So now I'm asking you, other than Brown's statement, did you ever get any evidence that the person you swore the warrant out for had any ownership right to that property?
No.
Did you find anywhere that the person that you arrested or had arrested through your warrant had any possessory rights to the property?
No.
Mr. Lewis, I think your questions were going to the burglary charge, and it's a separate case with the other officer.
I'm absolutely with you.
Okay, all right, all right, just making sure.
Yeah. All right. And so what has happened is Brown has told you that Brown has, for some reason or not, permitted the person that you swore the warrants out to reside there. Is that right?
But she's there to check on the property. She was there because she's sheltered for the.
It's her property, officer. We're not disturbing her right to be there. It's hers.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I hear you.
Okay. All right. Cool. I just want to make sure I'm not. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I want to get them from your mouth. So now I'm asking you, what evidence do you have that the person that you swore the warrant out for resided at that property, other than the person who's possessing a purse that has allegedly been stolen, that somebody else lives here?
Like I said before, the video footage from the gas station.
The video from the gas station tells you where the warrant out for lives at the property where the purse was discovered?
Yes, he stayed at the property of 724 Redland.
I got you. Officer, what in the footage from the gas station told you that the person lived at the property where the purse was found?
Well, it's a description of him right there. So, it was the description of him using the card and from our database on MCT that showed a clear picture of him.
Yes, sir. And I'm not doubting you on that. But what in that video footage that you watched at the gas station or somebody else watched at the gas station said he lived on that property?
After speaking with Brown, she informed me that he stayed there.
Okay. And you didn't go inside yourself to verify, correct?
Correct.
All right. So other than Brown's statement, the person who's in possession of a stolen purse, other than their statement that somebody else did it, did you verify in any way, shape, or fashion that the person who is at the gas station had ever been in the property where Brown says she allegedly got the purse from?
Well, she said he'd be home. he been home that day, but he wasn't there upon my arrival.
So the answer to that question is that no, you didn't discover anything that said that that in fact was true?
Correct.
All right. So Brown has a stolen purse in her possession. Did you arrest Brown?
No, sir.
Okay. So you took it on faith that she was telling you the truth.
I had a witness statement from her and Taylor Ingram.
So Taylor knows or knew that the person you swore the warrant out resided there. Is that correct?
No, she didn't know who took the purse.
Okay.
But I'm saying I sent them witness statement so they can give me their witness. They give me their statement from.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But Taylor actually did not know that the person you arrested resided there. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, let's go on back to the place where the car is. The car, as I heard you say, was secured. Is that correct?
From my knowledge, yes. I know the doors were shut, she said. I don't know if the doors were locked.
She, in this case that you're talking about, is Ingram. Is that
Ingram. Yes.
all right? Brown doesn't have anything to do with that, right?
Correct.
All right. And Ingram says that her Louis Vuitton purse was inside of the car. Is that correct?
Correct.
But Ingram did not tell you that the car was locked, did she?
Right.
Right. And Ingram did not report this crime on the day that it allegedly occurred, correct?
Correct.
What did Ingram give as her reason for not reporting this crime on the day that it occurred?
She basically told me that she didn't realize her purse was stolen until the next day.
Okay. So where did she think her purse was?
She didn't ever check at the time.
So she had a purse, and in that purse were her items, but she did not check to see if she had that purse. Is that correct?
Correct.
And in fact, she doesn't check to see if she has that purse at all. She actually just gets a call from Brown. Isn't that right?
Right.
All right. So now let's go on over to Brown for just a minute.
Yes.
How does Brown say she knows how to reach Ingram?
Right. You said, how did Brown say she know how to reach Ingram?
Yeah.
She found a business card inside her wallet, not her wallet, but her purse, and that's how she contacted Ingram.
All right. So she found Ingram by calling the business card that was a number that was on the business card inside the purse.
Correct.
All right. And when she calls Ingram, it is at this time that Ingram learns that her purse is missing.
Correct.
The purse that she did not know was missing before that time.
Right.
When did Ingram say she put that purse in that car?
I don't know when she put the purse in the car.
You mean she didn't tell you?
When she put the purse in the car?
Yeah.
From the day before?
Yeah.
No, she didn't tell me when she put the purse in the car.
All right. Officer, give me just a moment, if you will, please. All right. So you've now got possession of the purse when you arrive on scene. Is that right?
Well, she had possession of the purse. Brown gave Ingram back the purse.
All right. So you never had possession of the purse.
Correct. Until I took the pictures of the purse. But yes.
So you took pictures of it. And at the time you took pictures of the purse, was there a buckle on it?
It was damaged.
How so?
It was like ripped off. It was like ripped off, just barely hanging on.
Now, officer, I'm not familiar with Louis Vuitton purses. They're outside of my price range. So is there something difficult about opening a Louis Vuitton purse?
I have no idea.
You didn't open it either?
I mean, when she opened it, it was already like flapped open.
It was already
So
flat.
it wasn't like connected. I guess it was like a magnet or something supposed to connect it. I don't know how the purses work.
When you had possession of it during the time that you were taking pictures of it, did you fingerprint it?
No, not at all.
So in essence, Brown, in her eagerness to find out what was inside, could have torn that buckle off herself, couldn't she?
No, no.
Why not? What prevents her from doing that, officer?
I mean, considering that she called Ingram and informed her of the purse. So
Yeah, she
that's
did.
mhm.
I'm with you. And so that precludes her from damaging the purse on going into it?
I mean, I'm pretty sure she knew how to open the purse. So instead of ripping it open,
How do you know that, officer?
I mean, it's knowledge.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. And officer, did Brown also tell you how the cards in the purse got out?
Did she tell me how the cards of the purse got out? I don't think Brown know that the purse was missing items until Ingram had realized that her card was gone. All of her cards was gone, and
Okay.
that's when she went on her bank statements or whatever app it was she was using that showed me that her card was being used, like pending transactions. She would get notifications.
All right. So Brown could have taken those items out of that purse, couldn't she have?
Mm. Yes,
In fact, she admittedly went in there and took out a business card, correct?
yes,
And I heard you say a military ID was missing, correct?
correct,
And I heard you say a debit card was missing. That's correct.
correct.
And I heard you say that a credit card was missing. Is that's correct?
Yes, correct,
And I heard you say that there were transactions done at the gas station. That's correct?
correct. It was pending transactions.
Pending transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Pending as in waiting for the merchant to send the receipt to the credit card or debit card company, or pending as in declined?
Pending as in decline from my understanding from what she provided me with the pictures when I took the pictures of it. It still said pending when I took the pictures.
It just said pending, so you don't know if they were declined.
Yes, I don't know if they would decline or did it actually go through.
And was it transactions on both of the cards?
I think it was on just that one card.
Which one was that, the debit or the credit?
I think it was a debit card. I had to go back and look at the pictures, but I think it was a debit card.
And who was the issuer of the debit card?
Taylor Ingram.
No. Who was the issuer? What financial institution or card transaction company issued the debit card?
I would have to go back and look at the pictures that's on there.
So we're here. Let me know when you've got your recollection refreshed.
It was a Visa. It was a Visa Platinum debit card.
Visa Platinum debit card. All right. And was it issued directly from the Visa Corporation or was it from a bank?
So it was a Chase. It say Chase fraud on the text message that sent.
Chase fraud. All right. And what was the date on that text message?
It just say on here. It just say yesterday at 8:39. They don't say a date.
It says yesterday.
Okay, I said October, and another picture say October 8th.
All right. So it doesn't say yesterday. It just gives a date of October the 8th. Is that right?
Yes, on the second picture it say October 8th.
On the first picture, what does it say?
This first picture it say 8:39 p.m.
All right. What else does it say?
On that same picture, it said Chase fraud. We declined $55 with your card ending in 3353. That's Shell.
So now we know that the purchase for $55 that was attempted on that card was in fact declined, right?
Correct.
Do you have any other purchases or attempted purchases with that card?
53 from the three pictures. Not right. No, it's just Shell.
All right. So let's call that one you just told us about picture number one. What's going on with picture number two?
Let's see. I have the Visa Platinum at the top of the card with 3 different pending transactions.
3 different pending transactions. Is this in the same Chase Visa Platinum card?
That's a different card, 3492.
It's a 3492. Who's the issuer of this? Do you know?
It don't say on the picture.
All right. What do they say happened with that card?
It still say pending, $40, 42, and $26.
All right. So that one, those transactions do not indicate there that they were declined. Is that right?
Right.
Are those purchases all at the Shell station?
Yes.
All right. Very good. Now, the picture number 1 we've talked about was decline, and picture number 2 we've talked about had 3 pending transactions that don't indicate decline. What about picture 3?
Picture 3, I think just was it was a fraud. I think it was a fraud picture.
Yes, sir. You've got it there, right?
Well, it's the same one from picture 1.
So it's a replica of picture 1. All right.
A picture of the purse. On
Now,
the 4th picture.
I'm sorry?
I said there's a picture of the purse on the 4th picture.
Oh, a picture of the purse?
Yes, with the buckle being broke.
Oh, that's what's on the 4th picture. I got it. All right. So now, just to make sure I've got it right, picture number 1 is a card that's showing a declined purchase. That text message is from the 8th, correct?
That was, yes, it's yesterday at 8:39. That's the picture that's showing.
Mm-hmm. And picture number 2 is showing 3 pending transactions. What date was that from?
October 8th.
Mm-hmm. It was
Yeah, October 8th.
at what time, officer?
It said 8:39.
All right. So we now know that at 8:39 on October the 8th, Miss Ingram knew that her cards were missing, don't we?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Where did she think those cards were?
She didn't know.
But she didn't talk about it, correct?
Yeah, she just would get a notification from Shell gas station.
Mm-hmm. She got other notifications from Shell?
No, I'm saying she was just getting phone notifications from Shell gas station. Not from Shell, but from her bank saying it was at Shell gas station.
All right. Let's go to October the 8th as recalled by Miss Ingram. Did Miss Ingram see the person that you were taking the warrant out near her car?
From my understanding, no.
All right. Did she see anybody near her car?
From my understanding, no. She was inside touring the property.
She was inside of the property touring it.
Mm-hmm. It's a property that would cross the road.
From her car, she drove her car there, correct?
Correct.
And she went inside to tour the property, correct?
Correct.
And came out of the property, correct?
Correct.
And it all happened around that 18:30 hour time. Is that right?
Right.
And while she's there on the property, according to the notifications, she's getting notifications that her cards are being used, correct?
Correct.
And she does nothing about it with respect to calling you, correct?
Yes, the next day. Yes.
Right. And she goes through the entire night, does nothing about it with respect to calling you.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So she's at the property.
The next day, yes. She arrived at the property.
Call you until the next day. When you looked at Miss Ingram's automobile, did it show any signs of forced entry?
No.
All right. And just thinking on what you said earlier, Miss Ingram didn't miss her purse on that day, did she?
She didn't know.
So is it reasonable, officer, and I'm just asking from your perspective as a police officer that's investigating, that Miss Ingram did not believe her cards to be in her purse?
From my understanding, no.
All right. All right. So the only thing that we have now is that the person that you swore the warrants out for was using cards, and those cards had a female's name on them. Is that right?
Right.
And in a separate event, Miss Brown has discovered a purse in a property that she owns. Isn't that correct?
Right.
All right. But there's no direct tie of the person that you swore the warrant out with the purse. We have an interloper in that tie, that being Miss Brown, correct?
Correct.
All right. So now we come to this issue of age, because I thought it was fascinating, and I think the court will as well. Ms. Brown says she reached out to the person that you swore the warrant out with via telephone. Is that correct?
Right.
And you saw the call that she made to that person on her phone, correct?
I didn't look at her phone to see if when she called.
So all right. So you did not look to see that she had actually called that person as she said, correct?
Correct.
And she gave you a story that when she called the person identified whoever's business card that is or purse that is as being an acquaintance of his. Is that correct?
That's what she said. He said.
And Miss Brown says that could not be because of the age difference. Is that correct?
Correct.
Officer, if you will, for me, please. How old did Miss Brown say that the person that you actually swore the warrant out was?
The person right here, Noel.
Is that the person you swore the warrant out for?
So I think she said he was like 18, I think.
He says that he's 17 or 18.
Right.
Is that
I
right?
can remember that exact age. I just know when she provided me with his name, I looked him up in the system, and that's how I knew how old he was.
So she didn't tell you how old he was, did she?
She gave me an age range, but she didn't tell me the exact age.
What age range did she give you?
Like 18.
18. All right.
18, yeah.
Now, officer, let me switch modes for just a minute. Did you have your body worn camera on that day?
Yes.
And when they're all was said and done, you preserved that by marking that video, correct?
Correct.
That video contains all that you did involving this case out there on the streets, right?
Correct.
All right. Let's go back now. How old did Miss Brown say that the person was that was whose purse was there?
She didn't say how old that Taylor was.
Let me try this last question. You ready? How did she know what the person looked like?
To my Taylor Ingram? She didn't know.
Okay. All right. Thank you, officer. Tender the witness, Judge.
All right, any follow-up, Ms. Thomas?
Yes, Your Honor, very briefly. The witness is the property owner.
I'm sorry, Madam Prosecutor, I didn't understand. Which person are you talking about?
Excuse me.
Which you said the witness. Which person are you talking about?
I'm referring to the property owner.
Okay.
Let me finish my question. The witness who found the purse, was that the property owner?
Yes, correct.
So she had authority to go in any room in the house that she chose?
Yes.
And she indicated that to you?
Yes, she said she's over. She basically told me she's over the property. She have cameras outside.
Okay. She found the purse?
She found a person, yes.
Does she know the victim in this case, Miss Ingram?
No, she didn't know her at the time.
Was she the one, I believe there was some conversation about age range and all of that. Was she the one that mentioned that to you, that there was a difference in the age ranges?
Yes, she mentioned
How
that.
did she know?
Objection asked and answered.
Your Honor, I didn't ask it, and I don't recall hearing an answer to it.
I did, Judge. Her answer was she
Your
did.
Honor, can the officer respond to it? I asked him.
I'm asking the judge for the ruling.
Okay.
Okay, so you asked about the age, is that right, Ms. Thomas?
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to figure out exactly how he knew the difference, how she knew the difference.
All right, and your objection is what, Mr. Lewis?
Asked and answered, Judge.
You talking about on her initial direct?
Oh, no, I'm talking about on Cray's cross.
Yeah, she on redirect. She can go into what you asked on redirect.
I
Yeah,
thought
Ms. Thomas.
signed to the
Thank you,
thing
Your Honor.
cross, Judge.
Officer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Didn't you just ask him that on cross?
Yes, and he answered the question.
I don't
Okay.
recall hearing the answer. It kind of went south.
It's overruled. I want to hear the answer actually.
Officer, how did the witness, Miss Brown, know about the age difference?
From my understanding, I guess when she had arrived there, I guess that's how she determined.
But she didn't. Okay, let's keep. When who arrived there?
When Taylor Ingram had arrived to the house to pick up the purse. So I guess
But
I
she
guess how
said that she knew the age difference. See, we got a discrepancy here. How did she know that there was the age difference was the reason why she thought something was wrong, correct?
correct.
But she didn't know the age of the victim until the victim actually got there? Or did she actually say how she knew?
She didn't say.
Okay.
Did you ask her?
Ma'am, I'm sorry.
Officer, did you ask her how she knew what the age of Miss Ingram was?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Was Miss Ingram's identification, was her wallet, her driver's license in the wallet, in the purse?
No, she was missing she said Ms. Ingram told me she was missing multiple items, including her driver license.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking. The driver's license was in the purse that she lost?
Yes. No,
Okay.
no.
Her driver's license was not there.
The driver license and the military ID and the debit card, all of that was stolen.
Okay. So that's not my question. I'm trying to figure out when her purse was stolen, as she remembers, was there her identification in the purse when it was stolen?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that clears it up for me. All right, next question.
I'm sorry, Judge. What was that last part? I heard
He
his
said
answer.
yes. He said yes.
Yeah, I heard his answer. I did not hear your question.
I said that clears it up for me.
That was a statement. I heard that after the yes. I didn't hear the thing that he's saying yes to.
You talking about the question I asked was her identification, was it in the purse when her purse was taken? And he said yes, and I said that clears it up for me.
Okay. Now,
Okay. All right. Next question, Ms. Thomas.
Now, the debit card is what came up at the sit-go up the street. Is that correct?
Michelle, yes, ma'am.
And there's video of that particular transaction.
Yes.
Was the witness on that transaction?
Was the witness on the transaction?
Yes, Miss Brown. Was she the one on the video using the debit card?
No, Noel. Mr. Henry was.
Mr. Henry?
Yes. He was
Okay.
using the debit card at Shell.
Now, Mr. Henry, just for clarification, you actually saw that video, correct?
Yes, correct.
Do you see anyone here today that you saw on that video?
Yes.
Can you identify that person by physical appearance or article of clothing?
The male wearing an orange jumpsuit with dreads.
Okay. Did you see the witness anywhere near him on that video when that card was being used?
No.
And the victim was able to confirm that it was in fact her card being used?
Yes.
Was she able to confirm where the card was the last time she saw it?
She couldn't confirm. I just know she was getting notifications on her phone.
Let me rephrase the question. Was the card in her purse
Yes.
the last time she saw it?
Last time yes, ma'am.
and it's the same purse that was removed from her car?
Correct.
Was the witness able to tell you what the condition of the purse was when she found it?
It was, I know the buckle was broke when she told me. Well, when I seen it.
You saw the purse, but did she tell you what the condition of the purse was when she found it?
Yeah, she said it wasn't nothing, no damages on the purse.
It was what?
It wasn't no damages on the purse before this incident.
Oh, that's the victim. I'm talking about the witness. When the witness found it,
Oh, she didn't.
did she say anything about the condition of it?
No, she didn't say anything about it.
Okay. And the ID, the military ID, the driver's license, all of that stuff, was any of it recovered?
From my understanding, as of now, no.
What about that debit card that's on video? Was that recovered?
No.
Based on your investigation of your part of this, at least, did you have any reason to think that the witness was actually involved in taking the purse?
No.
Yeah, I believe that's all I have with this officer.
Any follow-up, Mr. Lewis?
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Let me start with the court's question. You answered that Miss Ingram said her ID was in her purse at the time that she realized her purse was missing. Is that correct?
Correct.
That wasn't the question that I asked, if that's what you were trying to clarify.
I know it wasn't.
Well, you referenced me, so I wanted to make sure you referenced what I asked.
But a few minutes, Judge.
All right.
So Miss Ingram said that her ID, her military ID, was in her purse at the time that she discovered her purse had gone missing. Is that correct?
Correct.
She said her driver's license was in her purse at the time that she discovered her purse had gone missing. Is that correct?
Correct.
And Ms. Brown said that she discovered the purse. Did she say that the military ID was in the purse?
No.
Did she say that the driver's license was in the purse?
No.
Officer, did you see the business card that Ms. Brown had in her, that Ms. Brown used to make the phone call?
No, I didn't see.
All right. Turning now, Officer, hang on just a minute. You said you used, well, never mind. I didn't ask that on cross. Just a second, please. The picture evidence that you observed at the Shell gas station, is that, how many transactions is that picture?
I think it was 3.
All right. So in that picture, one transaction is missing. Is that right? One set of transactions is missing?
I think so. I have to go back. I think so.
Okay. Because we know that there were at least 4 transactions given what you saw on Miss Ingram's text messages, correct?
Correct.
All right. And did Miss Ingram print those text messages out for you, or did she give you her phone?
She gave me a phone. I took pictures from my phone.
And you took pictures. So we know that they are as authentic as we can determine at this time, correct?
Correct.
All right. Hang on just a second. All right. That's it for now. Thank you.
All right, any other witnesses or evidence on behalf of the state?
Yes, Your Honor, I have another officer. I believe he's in the waiting room.
It's a different case.
Actually, I think it's the other half.
Okay.
It's the Citgo half, Your Honor.
He sent a message of, and said that the cases were different in the chat to everybody. But all right, I'll put him in.
And sequester the first officer, please, Judge.
All right.
I'm
Testimony.
sorry, Your Honor, you're correct. It is a different case.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So,
So do you have any other witnesses for this one?
no, ma'am.
Okay. Any evidence on behalf of the defendant?
No, Judge.
All right, and Ms. Thomas, I'm assuming you're waiving your right to open the closing remarks and you're gonna conclude?
I'll wait, Your Honor. I'll wait.
All right, Mr. Lewis?
Judge, thank you. So I am looking, Judge, at 3 charges here. I've got a Louis Vuitton purse and a theft by taking charge. I got a financial transaction card theft charge, Judge. And I've got a criminal damage charge related to the Louis Vuitton purse. Just a moment, please. Was it good? Okay. Having said that, Judge, I would submit to the court that my client didn't take nothing. He's not seen taking anything. He's not seen going into a car. He's not seen doing any of those things. What has in fact happened is that this officer has taken it on faith that the person who is in possession of the item, being the purse, is in fact not the person who has taken the purse or received the purse. We are told by this officer that the person, Miss Brown, who is speaking to him, says that she has made a call to the person who was arrested. But there is no verified evidence by this officer or anyone else that she has made a call to this individual. We are said that during this alleged phone call from Ms. Brown to my client, that my client gave an explanation that it was a female acquaintance of his. And in fact, he didn't even say female, it just said acquaintance of his. So I apologize for injecting the word female. But that Ms. Brown deduced that he was lying because of an age difference. The problem with this statement, Judge, is how does Ms. Brown know of an age difference? There ain't no driver's license in that purse. There aren't no military IDs in that purse. You haven't learned of any photographic evidence that has been presented that Ms. Brown was aware of ahead of time other than. We don't know if a picture was on the business card because the business card wasn't looked at by the officer who took it on faith that Ms. Brown was telling the truth. But somehow or another, Ms. Brown knew that there was an age difference. I'm going to suggest to the court that Ms. Brown knew of an age difference because Ms. Brown is the one who has the purse. Whether she took it or whether she received it as stolen property, she knows, if we are to believe her, because she's had a chance to see the military ID, which has pictures, or the driver's license, which has pictures. But even though the theft allegedly occurred the day before, Ms. Brown don't reach out to Ms. Ingram until the next day. And it is during this next day that the officer is summoned. 3 minutes short of 24 hours later, he is actually summoned. We are told that the Miss Ingram visited a property that she wanted to use as an investment property. And that though she was receiving text messages from at least 2 financial institutions on the 8th, she didn't call the police. 1 was declined, and 3 of them were pending on the 2 separate text messages. That these text messages came to her on October 8th, and that Ms. Ingram did not miss her purse on that day. It is my suggestion to the court that maybe those cards weren't in that purse, and thus the reason why no one would go looking for a purse. I don't know what was going through Ms. Ingram's mind, Judge, and I don't try to pretend that I do. But what I do know is that the obvious person that's involved in this, the person that was doing such a noble gesture as to allegedly give somebody a room in her house, no rental receipts, no nothing else, and let that person, and then turn around and not just go in the house to check on the well-being of her property, but also rummage through other person's things, according to her, so that she can evaluate whether there is a sufficient age relationship between the person arrested and the person who is purportedly the victim. That was the obvious person that needed to be investigated. This officer didn't do that. I don't know why he didn't do that. And I don't care why he didn't do it in this instance. Because the person that he took the warrants out on was my client, who this lady, Miss Brown, says she rented space to, didn't know his age, but kind of his age range. But he was good enough for the officer to do what he needed to do. I would suggest to you, Judge, that that's where the focus of this investigation should have been. So on the events involving the purse, the taking of the purse, I'd ask you to find no good cause for that over. With respect to the broken buckle on the purse, Judge, since the court hasn't been given any evidence that this purse has ever been in my client's possession, that the only persons that we know right now whose possession it's been in was Ms. Ingram at some point in time and Ms. Brown at a later point in time, that he shouldn't have been the person charged with doing any damage to the purse. But unfortunately, Your Honor, we can't go back and investigate now whether my client ever had it because the officer released that evidence. And any evidence that exists out there now is contaminated. It's gone. And so I would ask the court to dismiss the charge related to the criminal damage as well. With respect to the theft of the cards, I don't know. The officer says he saw my client's image using the cards, at least one transaction, although there are 2 going on at the same place, only in one set. He believes it was 3 transactions, but the other one he didn't see on film. I would submit to the court that there is insufficient evidence to say that my client stole, because this is a card transaction theft case that we're looking at, stole any cards. And if he had a card, the question is, which one? I don't know from this warrant which one the officer saw, and I submit that the court doesn't either. And so for the foregoing reasons, I'd ask the court to dismiss those charges. I understand, and the court, please correct me if I'm wrong, that the remaining charge is in another case.
That's what the officer indicated.
Then on that, with that information alone, Judge, I'm going to stop my argument.
Okay.
If I find out something different, then I reserve the right to come back.
Okay. All right, Ms. Thomas?
Your Honor, this is a tad bit more straightforward from the state's position than the defense would have the court believe. The victim indicated to the officer that her military ID, her driver's license, debit card, and other cards were inside of the purse the last time that she saw them. We skip ahead to the purse being missing, and then the defendant is found using those cards at a sit-go close to the location on video. Now, in between them, how do we know who the purse belongs to? Well, the property owner who is using the house as as a drug rehab facility, has.
Judge, objection. Those facts weren't in evidence about no drug rehab facility.
I believe the officer did testify that she was using it to
some type of social house. I got that part. You can move on.
Yes, Your Honor. Who owns a house, therefore can search the rooms or what have you at her leisure, finds this purse. Now, Your Honor, this is the thing. There's been a contention that the driver's license and all other forms of identifying information were removed from the purse prior to the witness finding it. How do we know how old the age differential? Well, that business card is the one thing that hasn't come up in conversation. The witness knows or has a pretty good idea of the age range of the defendant. You find a business card in there with a person's professional information in there. You've got a 19, 20-year-old occupant of your room. You know there's an age differential there. The best example I could use is if my business card, Andrea Thomas, ADA, Clayton County, is found in that same purse. You know there's a difference between me, an ADA, been to law school, been to college, and a young man, 19, 20 years old. The business card in and of itself can give a rational person a pretty good idea. Wait a minute, these two people aren't operating on the same age group. So I would contend that's how she knew. It's just that simple. She just looked at the business card. Wait a minute, this lady and this guy don't exactly seem to be a romantic pair. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No, not in combination with the purse. Further, if I'm stealing a purse, why would I call the victim and tell her I got your purse? Do I expect her to give me a purse that is not damaged? I believe that she, in good faith, if she owns the home, she's perfectly capable of getting her own Louis Vuitton undamaged if she wanted one. I contend that the more rational, the simpler answer is the more rational and logical answer, that he removed this item from the victim's car, brought it to his room across the street, removed items from the purse, the driver's license, the military ID, debit card, tried to use the debit card at least, and was captured on video. The other interesting part is if you contend that the witness is the one who actually is the perpetrator, why is she not on the video? The only person on the video that the officer reviewed was this defendant. State contends that there is sufficient probable cause at this point to transfer the case to the Superior Court of Clayton County on all three charges of theft by taking. I get them all right. Criminal damage to property, where the officer testified that the victim advised him that the purse had an approximate value of $2,800. And financial transaction card theft, where the items, the debit card and the various IDs and other items were removed from the victim's purse.
All right, the court finds sufficient probable cause for two charges: financial transaction card theft and criminal damage to property in the second degree. The court finds insufficient probable cause for the theft by taking. It's probably more, maybe a theft by receiving. So that charge is dismissed. This matter is adjourned. Thank you, Officer Jackson. If you don't have any other cases, you're excused.
Judge,
Have a good New Year.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's his last case.
sorry. Respect to the this particular case here, is this on your January 10th calendar?
Let's see. No, it's not. I don't see it. No, I don't see it listed as being on there.
Please.
You know why? It's not on there because he has a bond set.
Yes, Judge. And
Yeah, it would only be on there if he didn't have a bond.
Right, and it is an unaffordable bond. Does the court take the position that if he's got a bond of any kind, whether he can afford it or not,
Oh,
it's
no, that's not my position. What happens at first appearance, if the judge denies a bond, then it automatically goes on that
oh,
calendar.
I see. Would you add him to your 10th calendar, please?
Um, I don't, e- I don't, where's Yate? Is she here? Yate, are you online? Is that calendar still open? Okay, she might, yeah, okay, I'll check with Yate.
Thank you, Judge.
All
I'm
right, you're
sorry,
welcome.
Your Honor, what was that?
Is the calendar for January 10th, is that still open, that Mr. Henry can be placed on it?
January 10th. Ooh, that one might
I
have
figured
already
it's
sent out.
probably full. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, it was already sent out.
So it probably have to be the next Friday, Mr. Lewis.
I'm good with it, Judge. Just put him on something. I don't want him lost in the world.
Okay, can you put it on the following Friday, please?
All right, on the bond calendar, Your Honor?
Yeah, the bond calendar, that would be January 17th bond calendar.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, so now we can do his other case with the other officer. Let me bring him in. Okay, while he's coming, all right. This is Clayton County Preliminary Hearing Calendar and Magistrate Court. This is State of Georgia versus Noel Henry, warrant number 2024 CW 73911. All parties are present and have announced ready to proceed. Deputy Fowler, we still need him. Bring Mr. Henry back. He has another case. Yeah, stay right there. You got one more case. All right, Ms. Thomas.
Officer, could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the evidence you give before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Put your hand down, state your name for the record.
Officer Ken John Pierre,
And outside you employed,
Clayton County Police Department.
and were you so employed on or about the 27th day of November?
Yes.
And did you have occasion to respond to 713 Redland Drive?
Yes.
Excuse me.
A lot. And the same objection comes up.
Mr. Lewis, we missed the first part of what you said.
He objected. He said you were leaving, and I'm sustaining the objection. Don't suggest the answer in your question.
Officer, did you have occasion to respond to an incident on or about November the 27th of 2024?
I did.
And do you recall that incident location?
Yes.
What is that address?
713 Redland Drive.
And is that within the confines of Clayton County?
Yes.
And what brought you to that location?
It was a call about someone's reporting a burglary.
And did you in fact respond to the location?
I did.
And were you able to conduct an investigation as to what happened at that location?
Yes.
Can you advise what happened?
When we got to the location, I met with Mr. Arthur. He was the person living at that location, and he was reporting that some TVs had been burglarized from his home. He said the person entered through a broken kitchen window that was broken on a previous burglary a few days before that. They took one TV from downstairs and two TVs from upstairs, and they exited out the back door. And it happened when he wasn't there.
Is there any video or anything?
Yes. They also took a camera, and before they took the camera was pointing to the same broken kitchen window.
Okay, let me back up for a minute. You said when you say they took a camera, who is they? The person who did the burglary or who?
The person that did the burglary.
Okay. What kind of camera are we talking about? Is it a?
I think it was a Rise, was a brand, just a regular security camera that sat on the kitchen.
It was a security camera.
Yes.
Okay. The person who entered took the security camera?
Yes. Well, they at least moved it, so yeah.
Now, was the security camera able to capture anything even though it was taken?
Yes, before the camera was taken, it was able to see the person that entered the kitchen window. You could see them without a mask. You could see their face. It seems that they saw the camera and then put their mask down and then entered into the kitchen window.
And when you say they saw, as soon as they saw the camera, they did what?
Put their mask. They had a mask covering their face when they entered the window.
Okay.
But you could see them walk up to the window and pushing the window up without the mask on their face. So you could see their face.
Now, did you see this video?
I did.
And could you identify anybody on it, or could you see somebody on it?
I saw someone on it, but at the time I didn't know who the person was, but I saw someone on the video.
Okay. Did the victims see the video, review the video?
Yes.
Were they able to identify the person on the video?
No.
They had never seen the person before?
They didn't know the person, no.
Okay. So what happened to that video footage?
We got a copy and we attached it to the file, to the report.
Now, Mr. Noel, Henry Noel, has been charged with entering that location, correct?
Correct.
How were you able to charge him?
Later that evening, someone called in the same vicinity and said that they have a recording of someone walking in the backyard with the TV, entering location 731 Redland Drive. And that was given to us from another officer working the evening shift. So it's another video.
Okay, and that video was not at the incident location? Was not captured there?
No.
Was it captured by a neighbor?
Yes.
Did you have occasion to review that video?
Yes.
And what did you see?
The person matching the same, they had on the same clothes. It's like a grayish sweater top with a bright orange pants. The same person that entered the window was seen carrying a TV in the backyard.
How was the person that you see on the videos, how was that person identified?
What do you mean, how were they identified?
You say there was a person on the video.
Okay.
How
Okay.
did you match that person to this defendant in court today?
So the officers that went to the evening watch call, they went to the 731 Redland because they thought that home was being burglarized. When they got there, that door was open. As they entered that door and cleared the house, they didn't find anyone inside, but they made contact with the homeowner through, I guess, like a Ring camera. And she was talking to them and she was able to provide a number. And she was able to tell them that the home was used for youth that were basically troubled youth trying to, I guess, get another start or something like that. And she was able to identify the two males that were living there. When they were able to look at the driver's license of one of the people, they matched the description for the person from the video.
Where did they find that driver's license?
I think they just ran the names in the system and looked at the driver's license picture attached to the name and date of birth.
Okay, so they didn't have a physical license.
No.
They just ran the two names that were provided.
Yes.
Was one of the names the defendant present in court today?
Yes.
Henry Noel?
Yes.
And after identifying the people on the two residents of the home, what connected Mr. Noel to the videos?
Just facial recognition from the photo that we saw, the screenshot we took from the video before he took the mask down to cover his face, matched up with the picture from the ID.
So no person told you, I know this guy from the video. It was just the picture from the video and the picture for his driver's license. Is that
That's
correct?
That's correct.
And this is same person in both videos?
Yeah, the same person in both videos. They had on the same exact clothes in both videos.
Were you able to recover any of the property that was taken?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever talk to him about this?
The
Defendant,
sorry, repeat it.
did you ever have any conversation with the defendant about this?
No, ma'am.
How was he arrested?
That same day we were able to get a warrant. So, well, sorry, take that back. The next day, the 20, what day was that? The 28th, that's when we got enough information to file the warrant. And the 29th, we went to the address to pick him up in the morning with Clayton County Sheriff deputies.
Did you go or who went?
I was there as well.
Did you see the person that was detained that day?
Yes.
Do you see that person here in court today?
Yes.
Can you describe him by physical appearance or article of clothing?
Yes, a black male with black dreads and I guess an orange looking jumpsuit, something like that.
Okay. Now, did he make any comments and statements to you or that you know of?
Not just he identified himself as Noel. So
Did he say anything about entering 713 Redland?
no.
And none of these items were recovered when he was detained the next day, correct?
No, that's correct.
Was the other person there?
No.
Let me draw that question. The other name that you were given, you got a driver's license picture from him?
I did see a picture of him. Yes.
Did he resemble in any way the person that was on the two videos?
He was also a black male with dreads.
Did he resemble the picture?
No.
The videos?
No.
Other than
The picture that we got, looked more like Noel.
When you talked to the victim, did he give anyone permission to enter his home through the kitchen window?
Did he give, I'm sorry?
Did he give anyone permission to enter his home through that kitchen window?
No, ma'am.
Did he give this particular person permission to enter his home?
No, ma'am.
Did he give anyone permission to remove, 2 TVs and a camera from his home?
No, ma'am.
And I believe you stated nothing was recovered?
Nothing was recovered, ma'am.
The defendant was detained the next day?
It was not the very next day from the initial. So the 27th was the first day. He was, we got him on the 29th.
Okay. Was he wearing anything that was on the video, or was the clothing different?
When we got him, he just had on a white shirt and some underwear. But in the room, we could see a pants that resembled that bright pants that he had on, but it was covered with clothes, so we couldn't, remove the clothes to try to identify if that was a pants from the video.
Okay. You said on the video, what type of pants did he have on?
It's like a bright orange or bright red pants.
You all did not search the room incident to arresting him?
We did not.
Okay. Did you see what you thought were bright colored pants or something in the room, or did someone else on the scene see it?
I saw it myself.
Did it appear to be the same color?
It appeared to be the same color, yes.
And no one actually saw him enter. It was just all captured on camera. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I believe that's all I have reserved right for redirect.
All right, Mr. Lewis.
Thank you, Judge. Just a moment, please, officer.
Sorry?
I said just a moment, please.
Oh, you're good.
All right. Officer, I want you to do me a favor and say your name again, but this time say it slowly, and I may need you to spell it when you get done.
It's Officer John Pierre.
All right. So I heard a Ken up front. That's why I was asking that question.
Oh, it's my first name is Ken, sir.
Oh, it is Ken. Okay. All right. So Ken, and then John Pierre is one name.
Yes,
Jean.
JNO.
J-N-O. Ah, very good.
Yeah.
Hang on just a minute. And then Pierre is spelled how?
Pierre.
Thank you, sir. All right. Officer John Pierre, you're a member of the patrols there with your agency?
I'm a PO with Clayton County Police Department.
Got it. Got it. All right. Thank you. Hang on a second. All right. TPO John Pierre, I am looking at your testimony, and my questions are going to start with the incident location where the window is broken. Did I understand you to say that some TVs had been taken from the property before the day that you're actually investigating?
No, sir, it was taken that day.
All right. So there were no prior break-ins or thefts before the date that you're actually there on November 27th.
There was a previous break-in said by the homeowner a couple of days before that, sir.
Okay, so there was a previous break-in.
That's why the back glass was already broken.
The back door glass was already
The back glass for the kitchen.
all right. So it's not in the door; it's just the glass in the kitchen
Yeah, it's a kitchen window, sir.
window. Got it. And on the date of the 27th, meaning the one that you're investigating, on this day, a total of 3 TVs are taken. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And would you give me a description of the one that was downstairs first, please?
I'm not sure which TV was where, sir. I just know it was 3 TVs total.
Did the homeowner give you a description of the TVs?
He said that 2 were 40-inch TLC TVs and one was a 55-inch Element TV.
All right, 2 40-inch TVs and 155. Did I hear that right?
That's correct.
All right. And I heard you to say that on the camera, you could see someone without their mask on prior to the actual entry. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And the thing that you're looking at on this day is from the perspective of one looking through that broken window?
That's correct.
All right. And so there's a person on the outside of the broken window and they don't have a mask on. Correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Now you use the pronoun they. Are you suggesting that there are 2 or more people that are outside or only one?
No, it's just one, sir.
Just one. All right. And is it fair to use the pronoun he at this time?
That's fair, sir.
All right, wonderful. Now, you have gotten an opportunity to see this person enter the property. And when in the property, on one statement, you say that the camera is taken, and on the other, you say it was moved. Are both of those statements true?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the camera is moved first and then taken. Is that right?
In the process of taking the camera, it was moved.
I get you. All right. So the act of taking involved the act of moving. That's what you were saying, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now I'm with you. And so does the camera image show the face of the person who is coming into the kitchen?
No.
Okay. And you have already told us that the person outside of the kitchen put a mask on. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And then that and how do you associate the person outside putting the mask on with the person who is inside? Is it because you see the same mask on both the inside and the outside?
And the same top, the same shirt, the same sweater.
And tell me what's unique about this top.
The color.
It's the color. And the color again is what?
It's like a grayish color.
Grayish color.
Mhm.
Okay. Is this camera image that you're looking at, is it color?
Is it in color? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And does it have a date and a time on it?
I don't recall, sir.
You don't recall if it has a date or a time?
I don't remember if it has date or time on there.
How about a date or a time?
I don't remember.
You just know that you've got a camera and it shows a person who is looking through a glass window that is broken. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. And does the camera continue to record after it's taken?
No, sir.
All right. So once is that also the same for when it is moved, it stops recording?
No, it was moved, and in the process of being moved, it was taken.
All right, wonderful. But we're talking about the recording. So in the process of it being moved, does it stop recording?
No, sir.
Okay. So it continues to record, is that right?
Shortly after, yes.
Yes, sir. In your experience, being the investigating officer, what caused it to stop recording?
Probably being unplugged.
Being unplugged. All right, good. And though it was unplugged, you were able to still see the images that it captured prior to it being unplugged, correct?
I think the images stopped as soon as it was unplugged, sir.
Okay, but you're able to see the ones that were recorded prior to it being unplugged, right?
Yes, sir.
And where are those images stored?
How did we see the images? Is that what you're asking?
Sir.
From the homeowner's phone, sir.
So on the homeowner's phone, he's got the images there. Is that
Yes.
all
Yes,
right? And did you record those images from the phone using your body-worn camera, or did you actually secure the film?
we secured the film, sir.
All right, very good. And I know that you preserved it, right?
We added it to the report, sir.
Excellent, excellent, beautiful. All right. So at the time of this incident, do we have footage showing the person who has the mask on from any source, not that camera, because I know it's been moved, any source showing the TVs being removed from the home?
Only the video from that we got later that day. So not when I was there, no.
Okay. All right. And that video that you saw later on that day, not when you were there, that was video of a TV being taken across a yard, correct?
Backyard, it seemed like, yes.
Yes, sir. Was it the backyard of the property that you investigated?
I'm not sure which backyard it was, sir.
All right, just footage from a backyard
In the neighborhood, yes.
and that person's carrying one TV.
One TV, wearing the same exact clothes from the video.
Mm-hmm. The grayish colored shirt, right?
And a bright orange pants, yes, sir.
No name brands or anything like that, right?
It was some white writing on the front of the pants, but when we were in the house, I couldn't see that part of the pants too. That's why I said it looked like the same pants.
Okay. Were you able to see the writing on the other film that you're watching?
I believe you could see it on both, sir.
You see it on both. But you didn't see it on the first one. You couldn't see that part of the pants, right?
You can see it on the first. You can see it in the first video. Yes.
Okay. All right. So you could see it.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And you believe that writing on the first pair of pants was the same as the writing on the second pair of pants?
I believe so, sir.
Wonderful. And tell me, who is the person who had the recording for the second video? Who had that?
I'm not sure. We received it from officers. I'm not sure who they received it from.
You received it from Officer who?
We received it from officers that work the evening shift.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm not sure who they got the video from.
So officers presented you with video from somewhere.
Yes.
All right. Now, this second video that you're looking at here with the individual who's carrying the TV, does it have a date and time that you can see on it?
I don't recall a date and time, sir. It could have. I just don't remember seeing one.
Okay. Let me make sure, officer. This is November 27th of 2024.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you worked the morning shift?
Yes, sir. The day shift.
The day shift. My apologies. And the other crew worked the evening shift?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you remember that the pants were orange and the shirt was grayish and the pants had writing on them, but you don't remember if there was a date and a time on the video?
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to a date and time printed on the video. No.
All right. Let's go to another piece of your testimony. You talk about a lady or someone who is operating a youth house. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
Who's that person?
I don't remember her name, but she said that she was a homeowner and she was allowing the two gentlemen to stay there.
You don't remember her name. Do you have a report with you, officer?
I do.
Would you please consult your report and tell us what the name is of the lady?
1 second here. So her name isn't in my reports. It's in the report of the officer that gave us the video. Her name is in that report.
Okay. Do you have that report?
Let me see if I can get it real quick. I think I still should have it. I think her name is Lasai Love.
Lasai Love.
Yes, sir.
Can you give me an actual spelling or an approximate on that?
It's L. First name is Lasai. Last name Love.
Love?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Lasai Love says she operates a youth home correct?
Yes, sir.
And where is her youth home?
Yes, sir.
Where is her youth home?
Oh, it's 731 Redland, sir.
731 Redland. Isn't that where the second video came from?
That is I don't know if that's the exact location of the video, but I know that the officers were reporting to 731 Redland for a open door that seemed to have been being burglarized at the time. But I'm not sure if the video is of 731 Redland.
Okay. All right. But so let me turn the question around, so make it this way for you. 731 is the place where we had the broken glass in the kitchen window, right?
No, sir, that's 713.
That's 713. All right. And that's on the same street, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then 731 is where the officers on the evening shift are investigating or been called out in respect.
Yes, they went there for open door, sir.
An open door. And where the door is at 731?
The open door is at 731. That's correct.
All right. And all of this, of course, is Redland, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Redland Drive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then there's a video that comes from 731, or we don't know that.
I don't know if that was 731, sir.
And this video shows a person carrying one TV,
Yes, sir.
not three.
One TV.
All right. And then there is a person, Miss Lasai Love, who says that she runs a youth home. Is that
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
And we don't know where that youth home is. Is that right?
The youth home is at 731.
So it is at the same place as the video. There's the open door, right?
It's the same place as the open door. Yes, sir.
Same place as the open door. And explain to me, officer, if you will, what does open door mean?
They got a call about a door being open, which could possibly mean that the home was being burglarized, and that's why the officers were reporting there.
But didn't I understand you to say that Lasai Love says she runs a youth home?
Jason, huh?
Lasai Love spoke to officers on the scene. Excuse me, sorry.
Right.
They spoke to officers on the scene. She spoke to officers on the scene from the
Hold on a
ring
second.
camera.
I'm sorry, I'm not objecting, but also you got something you need to take care of right quick.
No, that's everything's okay.
Okay.
He's got the same kind of issues I have. So, officer, so if her youth home is at 731, and she says that she has two youths whose driver's licenses or IDs she provides you with, wouldn't it be reasonable that there would be an open door there?
I'm not sure, sir. They were just reporting to a call at that location.
I got you. All right. Thank you, officer. One final question, or one final set of questions. The things that you did in all of this, you recorded them on your body worn?
At that time, sir, I did not have a body worn camera. I was still a PO at the time, but those are
Okay.
in the first week of me becoming PO, and I didn't have body worn camera at the time.
Okay, not a body worn camera. Did the night shift people provide you with any linked video from their work to your report?
No, sir. The evening shift, they just gave the video to my FTO, and we were able to attach that video to our supplemental report.
Okay, so you were able to attach it, but it's attached to your supplemental.
That's correct, sir.
All right, good. Did anyone assist or ride along with you on your 1127 call out?
Yes, sir.
All right. Who was that person?
My FTO, Officer Norris.
Officer Norris. Beautiful. And was Officer Norris equipped with a body worn camera?
Yes, sir.
Is that body worn also attached to your primary or supplemental report?
No, sir.
Okay. What is the state of Officer Norris's video?
I'm sure he has the recording.
Sure, he has it recorded. I think the camera does that, right?
Right.
Do you know if it got preserved?
I would say that it is. Yes, sir.
What is it preserved under?
We have to classify all the videos, so I'm sure he classified that video as well, sir.
Yes. Did he attach to it a report number or anything like that? What's it attached under, officer?
That specific video, I don't think he attached it. I can't speak for him. I don't recall him attaching the video to the case, sir.
Okay.
Well, as far as sticking it to a report.
I got you.
As the case number goes, I'm sure he classified that video with the case number.
But the case number would bring it up as soon as you pull the report, right? It would identify the attached video, right? Yes,
sir.
Okay. Did you get an attached video?
No, not from his body worn camera, no, sir.
All right. And then finally, just to follow up on what Madam Prosecutor was asking about, just the 3 TVs were taken from the property?
And the camera, sir.
And the camera. I apologize. And the camera. And none of those things have been recovered. Is that correct?
No, sir.
The person with the video in the backyard couldn't tell you where the individual who's carrying the TV went. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
All
Tender
right,
Judge.
gonna redirect. Ms. Thomas, any redirect? You're muted.
Sorry, Your Honor. No redirect, Your Honor.
Right? Any other witnesses, Ms. Thomas?
Your Honor, it appears Officer Norris is actually logged on, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to call him at this time because he's heard the whole thing. So, no.
This was okay.
I mean, I can call him, but it's gonna draw an objection, so.
She's right, Judge.
I can't tell you what to do. So what, you're not calling him or what?
Your Honor, as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and call him.
And I'm going to object, Judge.
I'll be calling him for the limited purpose of addressing some of the confirmed questions that were brought up. I'm not going into everything, just specifically for the issues of the body cam.
Judge, I am going to object at this point in time. The reason for my objection is at the start of these proceedings, before we even had clarity, I invoked the rule of sequestration. Then the court received information. The state says, no, they're not attached. We weren't told of anyone else. And so that rule attached. And the court kept the one witness that it knew about sequestered. It is not incumbent upon the court to figure out who all the state wants to call, but it is absolutely incumbent upon the state or any attorney to notice when other persons are coming in that are not sequestered following that rule's being invoked. And so I would object to any other witnesses being called that have sat here and watched at the hearing for any purpose, limited or otherwise.
Yeah, if I would be allowed to respond. Officer Norris, the best that I can tell, apparently just responded on his own. He's not on my witness list. So until this officer actually started testifying, he's not in any of the documentation that I've been able to review. So until Officer Jean-Pierre started testifying, I wasn't even aware, did not realize that he was relevant to this case. I know sometimes officers will log on just to, for learning purposes, I guess, more than anything else. But since he did come up in Officer Jean-Pierre's testimony, state would like the limited opportunity to ask the questions that the defense had concerns about.
I made my objection, Judge, but although I learned something new, that we don't let the public come on here, but we let officers come on and sit down for learning purposes. Really?
All right. You can call him.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Norris.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know anything about this case?
Yes, ma'am. I'm actually Officer Jean-Pierre's field training officer.
Okay, great.
That's the only reason I was on today, to observe him.
We're going to stick to the limited purpose that I advised the court. Did you have body cam activated that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Did it capture the events that occurred on this day?
The investigation, yes, ma'am.
It did.
Yes,
Where is
ma'am.
that video?
All of our body camera and in-car camera saved to a database that's accessible by, I guess, Freedom of Information and by searches that we can do.
So far as you know, it's still in police custody.
Yes, ma'am. We like Officer Jean-Pierre was saying, it classified as a felony case, so it stays on for however long evidence retention purposes require for felony cases.
It's attached to his report?
No, ma'am. It's wherever our videos are saved into the cloud, whatever database they're saved into. When we classify it as a felony case, it's It stays until evidence retention, requires it to stay for felony cases.
So if I wanted to pull this video, would his case number do, or does it have a separate case number? Officer Norris, I think you froze.
It's saved under this case number.
Okay.
It's saved under this case number.
And Your Honor, I think that was all the defense counsel questions that he had regarding Officer Norris.
All right, Mr. Lewis, cross-examination.
I got one question for FTL Norris. Do you know why it wouldn't have come up when your officer tried to pull it?
Why wouldn't have pulled up?
Or your video would not indicate that it's preserved when your officer tried to pull his report.
It doesn't come up. Their reports and videos come from two separate databases.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, any other witnesses, Ms. Thomas?
No, ma'am.
All right, any witnesses on behalf of the defendant?
No, Judge.
All right, Ms. Thomas, are you waiving your right to open closing statement?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Lewis, I'll hear from you.
So first, I'm going to start by moving to strike FTO toward Norris's testimony, Judge, that it was not sworn, it wasn't under oath, and it wasn't really relevant to what the issue at hand anyway. Secondly,
it's no court reporter, but I understand. Duly noted.
And then secondly, Judge, with respect to the facts, I think this is one that's going to have to wash out at a later proceeding.
I agree.
So where I stand on that.
And so thank you. So you said I'll let to say you submit. Mr. Lewis finally submitted. All right, he submitted. Ms. Thomas, I find sufficient probable cause. It's bound over to Superior Court for further prosecution. Mr. Pierre and Field Officer Norris, if you don't have anything else, you all can go. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
All right. And
Officer Norris.